Packing is not just about clothes. International travel involves decisions about toiletries, electronics, electrical systems issues, and reference materials. Here's our take on all of these. Welcome to My Travel Window. Our channel is devoted to helping you maximize your travel opportunities. We want to help you start earlier, go longer, travel further, and explore more deeply. This episode is the second of our 3 episodes on how to pack for travel. Today, we look at accessories. So in this section, we're going to talk about all the things that are not clothes. So what we're going to do is we're going to wind up looking at 5 different groupings of things. Most of them are going to wind up going into individual bags. And so first off, I'm going to show you the electrical portion. So these include all of your chargers for your cell phones and iPads, whatever you need. Would include headphones and any splitters that you need to listen to devices. Would include whatever adapters you need. So if you're going to Europe, Europe doesn't use the same plugs we do, so you have to plug American plugs into this side and then the other side into a European outlet. So most of Europe will use these simple 2-prong ones, and you can see I've packed about 10 of them here. My general rule of thumb for these is you figure out how many things you might want to have plugged in at one time and then roughly double it, because these things are fairly cheap, they're easy to pack, and they're also very easy to lose. So you're probably not going to come back with all of them that you started out with. If you go to a British site, you're going to need the heavier 3-prong plugs, but I'm packing like we did on the last trip, so I'm not going to count these. 2 other items. One is a multi-plug. So this is called Accents. What it does, this would be the European plug. On this side, you plug in whatever kind of American plug you have. A European plug this way, or a British plug, or an American plug. So this is if you get into a situation where you didn't bring all the plugs, but you suddenly discover you need one that you didn't have. So last item, this is a multi-plug. So it allows you to plug in 3 plugs into one, because often in Europe you're not going to have enough outlets for what you need. And so you plug this into the adapter, the 3-prong that will adapt to the 2-prong to the wall, and then you plug all your devices into here, and it also has USB ports. Very handy to have. In addition to what I put in the bag, I'm going to have 2 small electrical cords. The reason for that's going to be obvious shortly. Okay, so those of you who thought I underpacked at some point are now going to think I'm way overpacking. This is electronics. I've decided that if I'm going to go halfway around the world, I want to come back with the picture that I want, and so I have 6 different ways to take pictures. In addition, start out with, I take my cell phone. I take a point and shoot camera that's very small that I can pack when I want to be inconspicuous and just go places and not have to carry a lot of paraphernalia. If I want a nice picture, I take an SLR camera. I have my SLR, which is going to be the most expensive thing I have on me, and this is the lens that'll go on the front. Because my SLR is expensive, I have a wristband. This allows me to be a little more secure from somebody who wants to grab my camera out of my hand. I also take a GoPro. This is for hikes and for video as you're walking along. It's also for some indoor settings where you need a particular wide-angle view of things. We both take an iPad with us. It's a mini iPad. This is what we actually use for our email and for internet and for those kinds of things while we're traveling. On this last trip, I took an unusual device. This is the controller, and this is a small drone. So I researched specifically the regulations for flying in Europe. I will do a separate video on droning, but for now, let's just say we're going to pack these. Now, obviously need batteries, backup batteries and chargers for the two cameras. Need a backup for the iPad or your cell phone. This is a backup battery charger. This is a Skyroam device. This is a hotspot. What we do before we leave home is we go out and sign up for whatever amount of time we're going to be gone. We get an unlimited data package, and this allows me to leave my cell phone. I don't use my American data plan at all. I leave my cell phone on airplane mode, and I use the iPad or my cell phone actually connected to Wi-Fi, and we have Wi-Fi wherever we go. I put this in a pocket. We can walk around the street, and we have GPS, we have Google, we have whatever we need as we go. Obviously, don't forget backup phone cards. Now, this is an item that we have, or that I have, that many people may not. This is a travel CPAP machine. I need a breathing machine when I sleep, and I've discovered that having a travel CPAP machine is worth the expense. And so we travel with this. This is a packing cube, and so I put all the supplies that go with it. I'm going to put the machine in there as well. So we're going to pack it all together. So for now, what I'm going to do is just put the odds and ends in this bag. Okay, now we're down to the toiletries. This will be the non-liquid toiletries, the things that you don't have to put in a 311 bag. So to save time, I've already packed some of the things in here: hairbrush, toothbrush, my backup glasses, pain reliever, some deodorant. To this, I'm going to add some antacids. I'm going to add cough drops. When you're ready to get rid of sissy cough drops and use real cough drops, get some Fisherman's Friend. I'm going to add nausea bands. This is just in case I ever feel like I'm going to be seasick or have motion sickness in some way. For my beard, I take a small travel trimmer. I take a little bar of soap just in case. For shaving with the razor parts of my shaving, I take shave soap. This is not shave cream. This keeps me from having to put shave cream in my 311 bag. It's solid. You put a little liquid in here, it lathers up and works really well. This is travel shampoo. I actually like it better than my regular shampoo. It's easy to pack. What happens is you just run it around your scalp and it lathers really quickly. It has a good smell to it. It's good on your hair. It's a great option. Lastly, we talked about needing to wash clothes. Tide comes in these little tiny packets that you can use in a washer. There is you can get sheets that you can either put in the sink and they dissolve into soap in the sink, or they'll dissolve in a washer. That's what we actually took on the last trip. I just couldn't find them for this video, but would recommend those. So all of these go together. And that is, minus the 311 bag, my toiletries for 6 weeks. My 311 bag is very easy. I take a couple of containers of contact solution because I don't want to have to buy contact solution very often while we travel. I can usually put enough in here to get through 2 or 3 weeks at a time. I take a couple of tubes of toothpaste. I take this, which I'm going to demonstrate for you. It's called Face Pop. This is what I use instead of aftershave. What they are is towelettes. And when you push the center part of this, it produces a moistened towelette that you can use as aftershave. And they're easier to pack, don't leak, and work really well. One thing you might consider is a small container of sunscreen. So this is one we bought while we were in Europe, and it works really well and will fit in a 311 bag. So now you see my 311 bag is fairly light. Usually my wife helps me fill it up. Okay, we're in the home stretch. So these are some incidental items that are worth their weight in gold. Travel umbrella, we've almost always used it 3 times. In the previous video, I recommended that you have a journal to write down notes of where you've been and what you did, and this is what I took. Take guidebooks, we tear them up like Rick Steve suggested, so that we only take the packet that's relevant to whatever area it is that we're going to, and then when we're done with it, we discard it and we move on to the next site. So, this is what you take instead of a wallet. Don't ever take a wallet. So, this is a money belt. This goes over your belt loop and sticks inside your pants, so it's invisible. So it's just it's down here like this. You can then pull it out to get money, but it's still attached to you. This is where you would put your passport, put in all the extra money, all the other items that you don't want to carry in your pocket for the day. Last item, you come to a new city, you're going to be deer in the headlights when you get in a new city. And so it's sort of like, oh, now where are we supposed to go? What are we supposed to do? How do we get to our hotel? So what we do is we prepare plastic sheets like this, and we put in all the instructions for each city. So we print off the pictures, if we've got any, of the place where we're going to go, any maps, any details for the day, any tickets, train tickets, for example. Put them all in here so we have city by city, and then we put them together in a folder so that when you get to a new city, you can open it up and know exactly what it is you're supposed to do. This is worth its weight in gold. Okay, we got all the parts. Now let's put it together.